Well, hi everyone. Today I want to tackle a topic that is kind of nobody wants to tackle it, but just this week I have been reading a book, and the name of the book is Between the World and Me. I think I posted this on Facebook, so if you follow me on Facebook, you probably have seen my little post for this. It is a great book, and I'm going to come back to this in a second. The second book I'm reading is a book called Sapiens. Also, it's a pretty thick book, but I'm really enjoying it, and I've only gotten that far on it, but I'm just trying to understand why we behave some of the way that we behave sometimes. And what I'm referring to is, President Biden was in Michigan yesterday. And I happened to be in the area, so I was driving through. I think it was the Howell area, and I was really, really disgusted by what I actually saw. And I think this morning I was reading in the paper too about how disgusted other people were. So I'm like, thank God somebody's disgusted, because as I was driving through it, I noticed some of the signs that were there, the foul language that was being used, and some people had their kids with their strollers and everything else. There were, I think, 2 or 3 elementary schools right around that area. And the language that was being used was just absolutely disgusting. It really, I called my wife Gwen and I said, it might be time for us to get out of here, because this is really, really, it was disgusting. I could not believe it. And so her question to me was, is this only in Michigan, or is it elsewhere? I'm like, I don't really know, but right now it just doesn't seem like this is the place to be. So if you're a Trump supporter, you know what, all the power to you. But I'm just telling you, if you really, I would urge you to really think twice, because the kind of people that you are seeing out there that are Trump supporters are just nasty. I don't know what other word to use, but I just don't understand why so much hatred. And so, anyway, so this week I've just kind of been going through that whole thing and looking at this situation that we are talking about as what does it mean to be black and American, that kind of thing, and all the stuff that I'm reading and all the stuff that I'm observing, and I'm thinking to myself, and then I'm doing my research on Ghana, and I come across some of these videos. And so I thought, I'll share these videos with you. Maybe people don't understand that, that some people are feeling very uncomfortable in the United States. So anyway, that's my thought for the day, for the week, actually. And I'm getting myself ready. I'm still doing Ghana research and still planning to go to Ghana in the near future. And getting all those arrangements in place. It seems like that's probably more important now than ever. Okay? So, anyway, thanks for following.
To me, there's no such thing as a black woman in Ghana. I'm a woman in Ghana.
Living in the U.S., all of the seats are taken, all the big brands are there. And here, you have an opportunity to create a seat at the table.
We begin this hour with the story of an African country opening its arms to black Americans. Ghana's tourism minister began encouraging African Americans to move there in 2019. As Black Lives Matter protests erupted, she said, quote, "You don't have to stay where you're not wanted."
Ghana's Elmina Castle occupies a dark place in America's history. This used to be a central trading hub where African people from across the continent were bought and sold into slavery. Now, as the U.S. continues to confront its racist past, Ghana is turning that history upside down and welcoming black Americans back home.
I don't know anybody, any person of color that hasn't had an uncomfortable encounter at some point in your life in this country because of the color of your skin.
Well, as you pursue your piece of the American dream, if that comes at the cost of peace of mind, oftentimes you start to think about where else you could live. And for a black man in America, you try to find out where your roots are. And I do feel like even if you feel like returning to Ghana isn't for you, finding out your roots is
It's
very
very
important because in order to know where you want to go, you have to know where you've been.
You have to.
The idea of returning has been controversial since literally the days of Abe Lincoln.
No doubt.
And what to do. I think it's an indictment of America in 2021 that there are 5,000 black Americans who've already gone back to Ghana because they don't feel comfortable here.
Yeah.
What are we doing wrong that we don't make them feel welcome in this country?
For sure.
But it'll be interesting to see, you can understand how comforting and different it would be to go from a place where you are a black face among non-black faces to be one of all, of many.
Yeah.